Welcome to my Road to Orlando Pro series. Here's a look at 17 weeks out.
So it is 3 o'clock in the morning, and we are officially 17 weeks out today. The reason that I am up in the middle of the night is one of my longtime friends and my Lady the FF bikini prep client, Buki, is stepping on stage. And with the time zones of her being in Japan, she's competing in the evening, which is our middle of the night. But I'm really proud of her. She's done really well, and the lack of sleep is totally worth it to support her.
Buki placed second in her very first show in a stacked class of 12. Woo, go Buki!
Got a couple hours of sleep in between Buki competing and waking up this morning to get ready for Studio House show day. We have been working on this dance show for 3 months now, and I'm just getting to the venue. Also, like, how beautiful is Barrie? But just getting to the venue, we have our dress rehearsals and run-throughs this morning and 2 shows tonight. I have my water, my food, my supplements, everything that you need, and of course my laptop to do some client check-ins.
Here's a clip from one of our 5 performances that we did. The show's theme was Once Upon a Time, and our class told the twisted story of Snow White.
One of the things that I know about myself is when I am sleep deprived, and sleep deprived for me personally means not getting my 8 to 10 hours in bed a night. So Friday night, I got about 5 hours of sleep. Last night, I got about 6 hours of sleep. When that happens, I crave all of the food, and I just dropped my grandmother off after she was visiting for the weekend for my dance recital, and I'm driving past all of these places where my brain's like, oh, just pull in and grab something, but it comes down to, what do I want more? Do I want the ice cream, the Kawartha Dairy that is right there, or the Dairy Queen that is across the street right there, or do I want to place well at my pro show? So I am choosing what I want more. Gonna go drive home and do some client check-ins. A lot of these videos are going to be taken in my car because this is one of the only times that I remember that I'm doing this video series right now. And part of it is going to be completely open and honest and transparent. So the past week and a half, we have had people staying at our house. So we had our friends stay for a week, and then my family was over for the weekend for my dance show. And I love spending time with people. However, I personally find that when people are here, I drop the ball on my journaling and my meditation and more of my self-care acts, because I don't want to be the selfish person that's going to take care of me, even though I know no one would think and consider it selfish, but it's these stories that I tell myself in my head. And this morning, after a really good sleep, I got like 9 hours in bed. I woke up with a really good Whoop recovery. I got back to that practice of journaling and meditation and all of the things that have been going on the past 2 weeks that I didn't truly take time to pause and think about and journal about and tune into how my body is feeling. They all came bubbling to the surface. So I have been crying a lot this morning, but crying is an amazing way to release that stress. I am a huge fan of crying in your car. There's been a lot of heavy shit going on in my personal life, and it's going to continue to go on. It's not something that's going to magically disappear. So I really have to stay consistent with trying to form habits around journaling and meditation. I'm great for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I fall off because things pop up, and it's not necessarily something that has stuck in my routine, even though I try. But that's the thing, is whatever habit you are trying to form, whether it's working out consistently or eating right or mindset work like journaling and meditation, you can always come back to it, and you can always recognize that failing is only when you quit. It's not taking a break and recognizing, hey, I need to come back to this. So it's feedback. This morning has been a bunch of feedback and a really good reminder that for me to be in a really good spot mentally for prep, I need to keep my journaling and I need to keep my meditation in consistently, so that I don't push it all down and put everyone else first. you got to take care of yourself to take care of other people. So I'm sitting outside of the gym right now. Had a really good breakfast, had a really good cry. My emotions and my hormones are now all kind of heightened. So I'm going to use that for today's training session. Training and posing done. I feel a lot better after I have finished that than I did when I started. There were a couple of sets throughout my workout where I cried, but I used that as fuel. And speaking of fuel, so one of the things that I am challenging myself to do this entire prep is to incorporate a little bit more balance. So in previous preps, I was very, very strict about eating whole foods only, vegetables, chicken, keeping everything as digestion friendly as possible, like no processed stuff. So I'm challenging myself to have a little bit more balance, because in the past that all or nothing mindset led me to binges in prep. And I have spent 3 years away from prepping of any kind. I have really improved my relationship with food. So one of the things that I'm doing now is having some pre-weighed out, pre-tracked candy post-workout, because when you finish a workout within that first hour of your training, this is when your carbohydrate uptake and your body's ability to refill your muscles' glycogen stores is best. And the fastest way to get it in is through simple sugars, rather than your body having to break down and slowly digest things. So I'm going to enjoy these gummy bears and start to practice that. I probably won't have candy as my carbs go down, but my carbs are really high right now, and this is an enjoyable treat. And then, of course, when I get home, I'm going to have my whole foods. I'm going to have my chicken thighs. I'm going to have my potatoes that I turn into French fries. But this is my immediate post-workout snack right now.
Tuesdays are check-in days for me. So I woke up this morning, I took my photos, I took my measurements, I submitted them to my coach. And one of the things that I have planned for this entire prep is goal weights and goal measurements, and things like having bicep veins by this date and ab veins by this date, in order for me to measure if we are going to be ready on time. So one of the really cool things about me getting a DEXA scan done previously, and now our gym athletic culture has an in-body scan, so not necessarily as accurate, but when I compared the two, where the DEXA scan is more accurate, they were very, very similar. So I'm going to be going off of the in-body scans, just because you're not supposed to expose your body to x-rays that frequently. And with both scans, it shows that I have about 110 pounds of lean mass on my body. So when I do the calculations of, okay, if I should come in around 12% body fat to compete, because the WBFF does not reward extreme leanness. They don't want hard conditioning, they want soft beauty. So coming in around 12% body fat, that is going to put my target stage weight at about 125 pounds. Now, with lifestyle clients and the ladies that I coach, we do say fuck the scale, because in a body recomposition process, that is very different, because we're focusing on adding muscle and losing fat at the same time. But when you go into a prep, it's very rare that you are going to be building muscle. We are going to be maintaining muscle, potentially increasing strength. But when you are in a calorie deficit, the goal is to preserve muscle and lose body fat. So I have a goal of 300 grams per week to drop over the next 16 and a half weeks now. And we are right on target. If anything, I actually came in a little bit under, which gives me some wiggle room for future weeks. So we are right on track. I woke up this morning and my lower body is so sore. So it's a sign I did a decent job. I exposed my body to a new challenge, a new stimulus it has never had before. Had a really good sleep to help with that recovery. According to my Whoop, I got 4 hours of REM sleep, which is like 50% of the time that I was asleep, I was in REM, which is really interesting. I love the stats on Whoop. Just finished an upper body day. My air fryer is going off with my chicken thighs that are done, and my carbs post-workout that are fast digesting today was a bowl of cereal with some oat milk. Again, I'm forgetting to record these things because it's new, but that bowl was full. I enjoyed it. And Floof, he's hanging out waiting for us to go for a walk. So as soon as I'm finished eating my chicken, we're gonna do that. Thursday, we had our Lady the F Up team dinner. There was a snowstorm that day, so what would have been a 45-minute drive down to the restaurant took me 2 hours. Totally worth it though to see the ladies that made it out. I enjoyed my steak and veggies that I had pre-planned into my macros for the day. It's Friday, and tonight I'm heading downtown Toronto for the Charms magazine winter cover launch party. And then in the evening, we are going to be doing a fashion show representing Kelly NB. She's a local Toronto fashion curator, and her winter line of dresses. Rollers are in. Shout out to Berry Beauty by Sonia for doing my face. There's no way I could do this on my own. This is the second time that I have worked with her, and I love her work. One of my favorites that I have ever worked with in the industry. So I'm gonna let my hair sit and get nice and curly, do some client check-ins looking like this, take the rollers out, put the dress on, and head out and make that trek downtown. Friday evening was a great experience. I very recently got involved in the Toronto fashion industry about 2 months ago, and already I'm starting to make connections and recognize some familiar faces. The show itself was amazing. The feeling of walking out in front of a crowd and having all eyes on you and all of these cameras flashing is indescribable. I still get really, really nervous right before I walk out. It feels like my heart is going to beat out of my chest. But reviewing this footage, I can see that I've gotten a lot better at not showing it, and it's just gonna get better. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching to the end. I'm going to be dropping weekly videos for the entire prep. I'm committing to this every Wednesday. So check back in on Wednesdays. If there's any questions or something you want me to cover, either message me directly or drop it in the comments and I will be sure to include it.